Welcome, Lalon Adebayo. Good morning, Neyo Lushola. Blessings, Mofe Lola, Shegun Fatuma. Welcome to all of you. Eric Osadolo. Welcome. Fumi Jeboda. Welcome. Elizabeth Ali. The popular customers here. Lola Shorunke, Justin Mayo, Bola Luro, Jolomi. Why? It's nice to see all of you. Mashu, Esong, Gladys Unshan, Kende, Agoro, Ojo, Ola, Wale, Edwin Amimi. Bola Luro, Noel Okushuku, Omo Nike Ikeade, Daniel Oshoma, Cordenia Ame, Wilson Arorome, Oluwatoyin Bidemi, Bosefaya Jola, Eric Lindu. Well, welcome everyone. Yeah, Oluwafume, Layo, Dina, Nena, Shi. Nice to see all of you. Welcome. Shigom Wafo, welcome. Shi Sandra, Victoria Weir, Davida, welcome to all of you. Welcome. Now, as you are coming in, let's quickly go and share the link. Go ahead and share the link, please. You have the button over there under your video. Look for that share button and let's go and share the link for today's program. Let's go share the link because then we could invite other people who don't know yet that we are here and who are not aware of our platform to come and join us. So please go ahead and look for your friends. Write them, invite them, and also another thing you could do is to write a comment or a remark on the shared link. So once you share the program, write something on it. Write something and let people know what to expect. Oh, okay. Shioma said, I'm excited I can now type. Why? You couldn't type before? Wow. Okay. Thank God. Well, sorry for that. Chris Emoit Omukaga, I need to talk to you personally if possible. Oh yeah, everything is possible, but you need to write me. I don't have telephone anymore. I dropped my telephone. People are taking advantage of me and abusing it. So I'm not having telephone. So if you want to talk to me, write to me personally. And my email is pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. So pastor@godembassy.org. If you write there, I'll be able to reply you. I'll be able to reply you soon. So welcome, and let's go. So this week I said I'm going to be talking to the ladies. This week I'm going to be talking to the women. So it's the ladies' week. And I think it was a wonderful way to end that other week, last week, with yesterday's program with the Ojimadus, and it was a beautiful conclusion. And we had a lot of responses. A lot of people came to see them and to hear them. And now we see that not just Pastor Sunday is strange, not just Pastor Sunday is coming from another world, but Africans could be different, and Africans could be godly, and we could have example of family based not just on culture but on the kingdom principles, on the kingdom of God. And that's another example to you, for you to know that no, nothing unique about me and my family. Just follow the principles. Just live by the truth. I shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So, get their books, get their materials, and you will find out that everything is possible. It's possible for every family, what they shared with us yesterday. So here we go. This week, like I said, I promised I'm going to be talking to the ladies. Last week I was talking to the men. Now I'm going to disappoint probably the men, because from what I am thinking, from what I understand, I think the expectation of the men that are on this platform is such that I will do exactly the same thing that other men, pastors, and leaders have been doing, to be bashing the women. I will not do woman bashing this week. I'm sorry if that's what you had expected. I will not come here to bash the women. I will not come here to put down the women. I will not come here to I will not come here to sit down the women and be giving them lectures and training. Like I said, a husband is not a schoolmaster, and the wife is not a schoolgirl. So I am not going to be, a pastor also is not a schoolmaster. So I'm not going to assume that role. I'm not going to say to the husband, you are not a schoolmaster, then I assume that role. Then I begin to become the schoolmaster that is telling everybody and the girls, sit them down and say, be quiet and listen to what I say. No, I'm going to tell the girls what they need to hear. I'm going to tell the ladies what they need to hear. But I'm not going to, my approach is going to be different. So if in the case of the men, what I did was I was talking to them mainly, at least for that week. There will be other aspects of talking to the men. Maybe the following week I will go back to the men again. But or maybe the next week I will go back to the difference between men and women. Maybe I will do something different next week, but we'll continue on the family issue. So I think what I'm going to do is, let me explain to you the difference. The difference is that last week I was talking to the men, and the men are the head of the family. The man is the head of the family. Now, as the head of the family, they must know what they are going into if they are the ones going to ask the lady out. And they are the ones to take responsibility. So when I talk to the men, there is no way I will talk to the men without talking to them about their responsibilities. Because men is the head, and men is the one going to ask the lady out, and the men are the ones. Men are the ones going to, ask the lady to follow them, to marry them. So that is just the only way to approach that one. But I'm not going to approach the ladies' part that way, because they don't have that responsibility. I'm not going to be telling them what they should do and what they have to do for the man. I might talk about that sometime later on, but I will not start with that. Because before that comes, there must be other things that must come that must take place in the life of the lady before we begin to talk about what she should do and something. If you start talking to the woman by telling her all the responsibilities that are waiting for her and all the obligations of marriage, then you are killing her. You're already killing her before she goes into that marriage, because she is not looking for trouble. She's not waiting there looking for what problem to respond to and whose pants to wash and whose socks to remove and all that. And she's not staying in her own house looking for whose clothes to iron and whose bed to clear. So that is not a problem. Any lady is not thinking of marriage because she's thinking, oh, okay, let me look at the trouble that I could put on my head. That is not the desire and the dream of every girl. Every girl that is thinking of marriage is thinking of somebody to cover for her, take care of her, and be a protector and be a father to her. So I'm not going to start telling her, okay, this is what marriage is going to be for you. You are going to marry, you have to do this, do this, do this. No. She's not. So I'm going to approach it totally different. And so it might, you know, people who are, you know, expecting me to be doing what other pastors are doing, what other preachers are doing, and I think I'm aware of that. I think, you know, I'm familiar a little bit with that. That all teachings in churches is, I just can't. All teachings in churches is just coming down on the woman. Oh, you have to do this. You have to. A good woman must take care of what they call it. A woman take care of build her own house. You have to build your house. Oh, the woman has to build the house. The woman has to do this. Oh, it is your problem. Oh, if your husband is beating you, it's because of you. If your husband is mistreating you, it's because of you. If your husband is sleeping around, it's because of you. If your husband is doing this, it's because of you. It is the woman. It is the woman. She has to take care of the children. If your children are bad, it is the woman. If the husband is bad, it's the woman. No, I'm not going to tread that path. I'm not going to go that road. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go that road. I'm sorry. I'm not going to go that road. 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 I'm going to go the road of truth. And I'm going to start out by letting the lady know who she is, first of all. Of course, I will later on go back to talking about what she needs to do in the family to the husband, how she needs to understand the husband better. That will come, but that will come a bit later. That will come a bit later. So, today's message, today's whole week, I'll be talking to the ladies. So what is the topic I'll be talking to them on? Well, you hear. Let's start with today's topic first. Today's topic is ladies. That's the topic of ladies. Start with ladies. Before you think of marriage, think self-sufficient. Ladies, before you think marriage, think self-sufficient. Ladies, before you think of marriage, think self-sufficient. I hope you hear me. I'm going to say that again. Ladies, before you think, Shigo is saying, wow, you came with a sober face this morning. Yeah, because with the men, it's more like, you know, we are soldiers. It's more like training for the men. For the men, you know, we've got to talk to the men like with men, okay? But for the ladies, I'm not going to go to war with ladies. I'm not going to go all out. You know, to talk to the ladies with frown face. No, I'm going to come out talking to them like a father, like a friend, like a brother. So, yeah, so today's topic is, ladies, before you think marriage, think self-sufficient. Before you think marriage, think self-sufficient. Now, when we go to the Bible, in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, when God was talking about making a helper for the man, there is something that we need to pay attention to there. Many people just rush through that and so miss out on some of the most, even ladies miss out on what they're supposed to pay attention to. So it says in verse 18, Genesis 2 verse 18, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper. But what helper? A helper comparable to him. So, this passage is so pregnant. And it's not pregnant in the sense that people preach it. You will see the way I'm going to approach it. It's totally different from what you've been hearing people preach about. People just go to the surface and talk about just the obvious. Oh, okay, it's not good for man to be alone. People only talk about it in terms that, oh, you are supposed to be a helper. Okay, that's just a helper. Those are just the only two things people say. But, oh, how much I see here. In fact, I see so much here that it will take me a whole week talking about it morning and evening to come out of this place. Can you imagine it? I see, and I will not even be talking about those things you people talk about. I will not talk about being a helper, or it's not good to be alone. And still, I'll be talking for the next 1 week, morning and evening, and just in this particular place. But let me give you a general idea of what I want to talk about. Three main things. You want to remember them. And these three things, for me to talk about these three things, I need a week. Three things in that scripture that is not good for man to be alone. And God will make him a helper that is comparable to him. So the first thing I want to talk about here is, I want to talk about, remember the word self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency. 2, I want to talk about maturity. 3, I want to talk about wholeness. Self-worth, wholeness. To be whole, to be made whole. I don't know if there's a better word for that, but to be made whole. So I want to talk about the woman. I'm talking to the woman. These are just things I'm talking to the woman. So, but those three things will take me at least the next 15 hours, 10 to 15 hours to just address those three things. So, 3 things: self-sufficiency, maturity, wholeness. Remember them. Self-sufficiency, maturity, wholeness. So we are starting with self-sufficiency today. So, where am I getting these 3 things from? Well, I'm getting it from from that passage. I'm getting it from that passage where God said, it's not good for man to be alone, that it will make for him a helper. Now, listen to this. A helper means that for you to be able to help and for you to be able to be a helper, you must have those 3 things I just mentioned. A helper, you can only be able to help another person when you are already self-sufficient. Before you could help another person as well, you must be able to be mature. Okay, for example, if I'm learning to swim now, and one thing I've discovered with swimming is that if they throw you in the river, all my examples are now connected with swimming. If they throw you in the river, and the person who wants to rescue you himself doesn't know how to swim, is not self-sufficient in swimming, both of you become the victim. You are not the only one who will die. The one who has come to rescue you is on a death mission. So since we are not sending the ladies on a suicide mission and on a death mission, before a lady could even think of marriage, she must think about self-sufficiency. It's just like saying, before you could say you must go help another person not to drown or to live, you must know how to live. That's why you could help. So that's one aspect that nobody is talking about. And that is one aspect that we don't tell the ladies about before they marry. We are thinking they will go into marriage and marriage will make them to be self-sufficient. No. It is about becoming self-sufficient before they go into marriage. Another thing that you will need, that you cannot do without to be able to become a helper, is that if you are not mature, you cannot become a helper. It's just like saying now, you have a 2-year-old baby at home, and you are saying, oh, your mom is sick. So since mama is sick or mommy is sick, and you say, oh, but You know, she doesn't have any problem. She has a baby there now. She has a child at home now. How old is the child? 2 years old now. She cannot stand up. She cannot cook. She cannot clean. She cannot wake up in the morning. Yeah, but the baby will take care of her. 2 of them will die. A 2-year-old kid cannot take care of a sick mother, cook for her, wash her, you know, give medicine to her, take, you know, save her from death. You know, a 2-year-old cannot do that because she's not matured enough for that. So the same thing with marriage. You cannot think about a helper because that 2-year-old cannot be a helper to the need of the person who is helpless. So is a girl, a woman or a lady, she has to first of all be matured before she could become a helper. So that is the second thing we have to talk about when we are talking about women. And like I said, it will take me the next 15 hours to talk about these 3 things. Then number 3 thing that we cannot talk about, I mean, we have to talk about before we talk about a lady becoming a helper, is wholeness. Because anybody that is not confident of himself, anybody that is not whole, that is not, you know, assured. Okay, for example, it's just like saying, you know, somebody, let's say, it's a person finished medical school, but the person is not even sure of his own skills, and it's not sure of his knowledge. It's not whole. It's not. It's full of doubt. It's full of it's full of low self-esteem. And that person who is not whole, as a doctor, you want to send the person to go and take care of his patient. And because he's not sure of anything, he's not even sure of the prescription he's going to give. He's going to be killing patient one after another. Because he's not even sure of his own profession, he's not even sure of his knowledge or his skills. So someone who is not whole, someone who is not sure, who is not confident, will only do more damage than help. And those are the things that we have been experiencing in families, unfortunately. These things that we are talking about now are these very same problems that we have been seeing in homes, in families, all over the world. When these things are not addressed, marriage becomes catastrophic. When these things are not taken care of, you know, catastrophe. Marriage is becoming like, not just like a battleground, but marriage becomes like a hospital. I mean, like emergency room where they take people to who have an accident. It's just a place of catastrophe all the time, bad news center. You know, that's why now if you conduct investigation just among married people, if they tell you the truth, they will tell you that when they were alone by themselves, when they were not married, 75% of them, they will say, they actually 80% said they were more happy when they were single than when they are married, because they did not go through adequate preparation. And almost nobody is talking about this. So these 3 things are so important that I personally think that no girl should be allowed to go into marriage. No girl should be allowed to go into any relationship without being properly taught in these things. A lady is supposed to be a helper. What kind of help are you talking about when she cannot even help herself? So what are you telling me? What are you telling me? What kind of help are you talking? Who is she going to help? She will not become anybody's helper. She will just become, a burden. She will become a burden to other people. A lot of women, unfortunately, that are going into a relationship these days, they are not ready to become a helper. They are not ready to become, and if you are not ready to become a helper, you are not ready to be a wife. So this whole week, I'm not going to be bashing the woman. I'm not going to be attacking the woman. I'm not going to be telling the woman how to treat a husband. That one is a long time to come. It's a long way. Before we get to how to treat a husband or a man or that is a long way to come. We have to deal with the girl first. We have to deal with the lady first. We have to help the lady to become self-sufficient. We have to help the lady to become, matured. We have to help the lady to become whole first. Because if we don't deal with her, with a problem of self-esteem, with a problem of identity, with a problem of her own personality, who she is, if she does not deal with her personality, it's disastrous to let girls go to marriage just like that. So just like I said the other time, that men should not rush to marry, and that men should think properly and think deeply before they go and approach any girl. The same thing could be said about the women. That women should not even think about marriage until they know they have dealt with these three questions that I'm talking about. So we must open the ladies' eyes as well, that God created you to be a helper, and a helper that is not self-sufficient, a helper that is not matured, a helper that is not whole. She's going to wreak more havoc. She's going to bring in more tragedy. She's going to bring in more catastrophe. She's going to bring in more catastrophe to the family and to the man than before she even came to the life of the man. And when I say that a lot of married women are not happy, even the men too, there are some men that will say, they will easily say that their lives are difficult, or their lives are, are become a failure because of the woman that came into their lives. And that could be the case also. Not all of them are lying. In some cases, it's true. But it depends on who you marry. The person you marry could be your stepping stone to success, or she could be your stepping stone to failure. And so, it all depends on how the two of you have been prepared, or have been trained for that role, the role of a husband or the role of a wife. So today I'm going to be talking about the lady. And so as a girl, let me talk to you as a girl. Forget about marriage. Forget about it, first of all. First of all, every lady needs to set, I'm talking about the ones who are not married though. If you are not yet married, just leave that topic alone. Just leave it alone. The Bible says, and this is scriptural, the Bible says that he that is not married, either man or woman, is supposed to be thinking or engage her mind and alive with the Lord. He that is single, that is unmarried, should think about the Lord. Is engaging, thinking about the Lord. Is engaged and thinking about God, about the things of the Lord. Fulfillment. But he that is married, or she that is married, is thinking about the husband, how to please the husband, the children, everything. So before you marry, it's not your obligation to be daydreaming about, your husband, your future husband. Oh, this one will be my husband, that one will be my husband, this one will be this kind of child we're going to have, this kind of children we're going to, forget, just think less about things where you are not in yet. So there are some other things that you could think about. There are some other things that you should engage yourself with, rather than thinking about marriage and the man and men and all that. Remove the problem of women and of men from your head. Think about yourself. Let's think about how to make you whole. Let's think about how to become normal. Let's think about how to become, how to make yourself ready for the marriage you are going to talk about. Well, you think about marriage, of course. It's not that you don't think about marriage altogether, but you can think about it maybe 10% of the time, or maybe 5% of the time, 1% of the time. But right now, we are going to think about you. We are going to think about you, and we are going to talk about you. So what is a girl that is not married? And if you are already married, this also pertains to you and relates to you. And the way it relates to you is this: find time in that marriage to do what you did not do before marriage. Find time in that marriage to create for yourself a time for you. Find time in that marriage to find opportunity to develop yourself and to do these three things that we are talking about. If you don't do it, you will continue to suffer in that marriage. If you don't do it, not just you is going to continue to suffer. Your husband will continue to suffer. Your children will continue to suffer. And even after you are dead, your children will continue to carry the suffering and the consequences of the wrong choices you have made, and or the lack of development that you came into the marriage with. They will keep on taking that to their children's children. It will be transferred to your grandchildren and grandchildren, next generation. So it's a lot of catastrophe that is hidden in a relationship when the woman is not well prepared, when the woman did not do what she was supposed to do at the right time before she enters into the marriage. And even if you have already entered into the marriage, still you still have time, or you should still find the time and the opportunity to give life to yourself. Now, let me give you a statement that I read somewhere, and I even wrote a book about it. And this statement says that the first responsibility of every human, of every person, man or woman, is to first of all give life to himself. You must know that your first responsibility as a lady, your first responsibility as a woman, your first responsibility as a human being, your first responsibility as just a girl is to give life to yourself first. You create life. You have the responsibility to become the architect of your own life. If you have not created your own life, if you have not been able to build your own life, you don't have the right to give birth to another life. So it is the responsibility of every person, every man or woman, to first of all give life to himself before he gives life to others. You must first of all give life to yourself before you are thinking of giving birth or giving life to another person. But a lot of women these days, what they have started thinking about children when they were small, or when they are still teenagers, when they don't even know what is their own life self, when they don't even know who they are, when they have not even recognized themselves, when they have not even acknowledged who they are, and talk less of giving life to themselves. They are not even bothering to give their life to themselves, to give life to themselves. They are only thinking about the life they want to give birth to, or the life they want to give to another. How can you give to other what you don't have? What are you going to give birth to? You are just going to give birth to another biomasses. You are just going to give birth to another flesh. You are just going to give birth to another bunch of biological pieces and biological masses. So that is a disgrace, because if you have not created in yourself a core value, if you have not created in yourself a personality, you can never give birth to that personality. You can never give birth to a personality that you have not created in yourself. You can never give birth to a value system that you have not already created. We cannot give what we don't have. We can only give what we have. So if you have not created in yourself the person that you like, or you have not created in yourself the person that you yourself admire, if you have not created in yourself the person that you yourself love, the person that you yourself would like to be like, then what will you give birth to? If you dislike yourself, if you are disgusted with yourself, if you don't like what you see in yourself, so what will come out of you? It is the same disgustment, that a disgusting thing that will come out of you. It is the only disappointment that you will give birth to. It is only tragedy you will give birth to. You will only reproduce what you have. So we are surprised. Why are our children so stubborn? Why are our children so disobedient? Why our children will not listen? Because you don't even have values to be put into them. You don't even have how to train them. You don't even have the principles that you want to formulate in them first. So if you yourself are disgusting, you give birth to disgusting children that will just run you to your grave too early, earlier than you anticipated. So that is why no woman should try or should rush to give life to another until she has given life to herself. No person, no man should give life to another until he has given life to himself. You must first of all create the life you desire for yourself. You must first of all formulate the personality that you desire to be in you first, before you can now say you want to give birth to one. I mean, it's a disgrace when you are so empty You know, you don't even like yourself. You don't even like what is obtainable in you, and then you are dreaming of giving birth to children. Just leave that topic alone. Just abandon that. Just leave that. Just put that somewhere. And if anybody is trying to pay attention to you, if anybody is trying to approach you or, tell you some beautiful things, you know the truth. You know the truth about yourself. You know that you are not ready. Don't let anybody deceive you. And they'll be telling you, oh, don't worry, you will become ready when you marry me. They themselves, the men themselves who are telling you that, they are the ones who will later on be using that as an attacking something. They will use it to attack you. They will use it as your accusation. They are the ones who will be telling you that you are not ready. You are not well trained. Where is your father? Where is your mother who trained you? That you are a bad wife, you are a bad girl. I mean, you were not trained, you are not well brought up. They will begin to abuse you. They will begin to abuse your children. They will begin to abuse your mother. I mean, your father. They will abuse your whole family, your heritage. They will say you have not been trained very well. Who brought you here? And they are the ones who are asking you. They are the ones who are begging you to go and marry them, that they don't care. But now that they see the reality of who you are really, they begin to care, and they will begin to attack you and begin to say you are not worthy, you are bad and all that. So you don't want to bring disgrace to your own life. You don't want to bring shame to your own self in marriage. You don't want to bring shame to your own family. You don't want to bring shame to your children. You don't want to bring shame to your father, to your mother. You don't want to bring shame and disgrace to your family, to your parents, by going to marry unworthy, by going to marry unprepared, by going to marry without creating your own life, without giving life to yourself. You don't want to go to marry, unprepared, so that you will not become, a mocking object. You will not become a center of, you will not become a piece of laughter. So that you will not become a disgrace. And for you not to become a disgrace and a shame, you must be prepared. And in these three things that I've already spoken about today, about self-sufficiency, you must be self-sufficient first. You must work on yourself. You must give life to yourself. You must create the personality that you admire in yourself first before you go to marry. You must first of all work on yourself. You must, make sure that you create. It's like you must become like a sculptor. That is, that is ready, that is molding, that is carving an image. Everybody has that responsibility of carving an image of himself, the one that he desires to see. All of us are supposed to do the sculpture of ourselves, to carve out the personality that you want for yourself. You are supposed to clean yourself. You are supposed to, to chisel yourself, everywhere, to sharpen yourself, to make yourself ready into the kind of lady that even yourself you are proud of, that the kind of lady that you are satisfied with. So, and the reason why this is important is that by the time you have carved out yourself, the image that you want yourself to be, by the time you have chiseled yourself and you have, made yourself ready, even though it might not be 100% the way you want it, but you are already so satisfied, you are so confident of yourself that even if any man now comes and say that you are this, you are that, you'll be able to say, no, no. You couldn't tell me that. I know who I am. I know my value. I know what I have. I know myself. So no man will now come and be telling you that you are this or that. No. You'll be able to tell them, no, listen. You know you are because you have made yourself the admirable person in your own eye. Even you have made yourself the person that you yourself fall in love with. You yourself you are ready to love. You yourself you are ready to be placed with. You yourself you are glad with. So you are not going to become a puppet in the hand of another man or one man that is that's going to be trying to manipulate you. So you are not going to be manipulated. You are not going to be deceived. You are not going to be broken. You are not going to be, pushed around. You are not going to be tossed to and fro. and and be turned into a football, that you are just being played down there, play here, play here. That is why this is so important as a lady. Please, before you think marriage, you ladies, before you think marriage or before you think relationship, think first of all about self-sufficiency. Think self-sufficiency. Think self-sufficiency. Be self-sufficient first. It's your number one responsibility. It's your number one responsibility to be self-sufficient first of all. I mean, if you are not self-sufficient, your life will be full of pain. Your life will be full of pain. I remember a situation that people came to me with. It's not good. But this lady had been married, and she had even given birth to 3 children. After about maybe 7 years or 10 years of marriage, the man said, I don't want you anymore. I don't want her anymore. And since I was their pastor, I had to know about it. So we decided to talk to the man and the woman. And what is painful to me right now that I don't even feel like talking about is the argument, the reason they decided to send her packing. The reason is because it says, you are smelling. I don't know if it is true or it's not true. But let me tell you this. I still don't think it was supposed to do that. Even if the lady was smelling, it was supposed to help her get rid of that smell or find ways of how to, to resolve that problem. But let me tell you, just as a friend and as a father now, I want to say, do you know there is a reality in there, and there is a truth there. I'm not, it's not an easy topic for me to talk about because I don't want to shame anybody, but in the case of that guy, maybe it's just an excuse, right? But you ladies must also know, and there are some women that don't know this, but you ladies must know that there is something that is called I don't know what you call it, but I think I will just use my own word. It's called, I don't know if it's not called like that, but I think it's vaginal smell. Vaginal smell. That's the way I would call it. I don't know what it's called. But, I myself never even knew that there is a treatment for that. I never even knew that there is, just like we have shampoo we use for our hair, that there is hygiene products for the women, intimate hygiene product for the girls. I never knew there is a special lotion or special hygiene kind of cream that women use to prevent smell, to prevent the intimate and vaginal smell. But if a lady had grown up, maybe in Africa, maybe in Christian home, maybe in a place where the parents have not spoken to them, have never spoken to her about that. No, this is not soap. Somebody is writing soap. No, this is not soap. Because the way I got to know about it was, I went to, was it a 5-star hotel? They put me in one 5-star hotel. And, in the 5-star hotel, they made everything present. They thought I was going to be there with my wife. And I saw bottles like that, where it is written vaginal cleansing, it gets rid of the odor and smell. And I said, wow, wow. The world has gone to this. Now, wow. In the hotel, hotel room, they put all kind of different cream, including vaginal cream that is, they want to get rid of the smell, they want to give aroma, they want to, for vagina also. I know you have body cream, I know you have skin cream, I know you have hair cream, but which now, how? But I saw that people know that there is a problem like that, and people have resolved that problem. Somebody is just writing me now that Davida just say, I hear that a lot from women. Davida is a woman minister, and she's a minister and she's saying that a lot of women come to her that their husband either complain or their husband leave them or their husband, remove them from the homes or from the family because of that, you see. But a girl might not know that before she married. A lot of girls might, I'm sure, a lot of those girls who are 17-year-olds and teenagers, they might not be aware of it, and they're thinking of marriage. And then the man will just shame them, and she will be thinking she's okay because she's wearing clothes. But this one is beyond clothes, though. So now, like I said, I'm not defending that guy that divorced a woman 10 years later or 7 years later just because of whatever smell he was thinking. But he was able to live with that for 7 years. But he said he couldn't just cope with it anymore. And as a man, I think that, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. I must tell the ladies the truth then. I still must tell the ladies about this, that you should still know that, there are things that you must be prepared for. And that is this one is just the easy thing. This is just the small thing that I'm talking about. But this is like this easiest of things. Like, this is nothing, right? About, smell or something. But when I talk about self-sufficiency, when I say, before you think of marriage, think about yourself. Think about being self-sufficient, not just in the body preparation and things like that. Still talking about the body, let me tell you something. For me, that happened to me personally. Do you know, since I was growing up in Africa, almost up to now, but let me talk about since I was growing up in Africa and since I was a boy and I was having girlfriend and things like that. I'm talking to you as a girl now, as woman now. I'm being forced to talk about some things that are not so easy for me to talk about, especially talking about this on the internet. But as a man, I noticed that most ladies, ladies, either you like it or not, men see the bra you wear one way or the other. They see what you call them, bra or whatever. So these bras that women wear, at least you see the top part of it always, it falls out and this, that. I noticed from my childhood that it's always two colors I used to see most places, two colors. Something that is brownish, almost brown like that, brown, some color like that. It's very popular. It's like everyone is just wearing it. Not white but it's brownish like that, brown. And then black. Two colors of brown. I used to think all my life that women only have two colors of bras. That I thought they don't even produce any other. The strap of the, yeah. So through the strap, I could see the colors. But these colors are always some colors like that are, And I said, so before I married, always been concerned. Oh God Almighty! So I would be seeing my wife wearing just these two colors all her life. How will I marry a woman that will just be wearing this same brown thing I will be seeing? Even by seeing that color, I'm already having what they call allergic. I'm already allergic to it because it's already putting me off. Any kind of desire will just disappear. All those two colors. Even though I might like the lady, but before I get to her, the thing is been killed, is murdered, is punctured. The desire has been punctured. The reason I'm talking about this, is because in fact, I had to ask other ladies later on and say, you tell me, why is it that women always have, it's like everywhere, even when I came to Europe, they are still wearing those brown straps. I see, even the Europeans, even Africans, all of them are just wearing this. Until I and my wife, we were talking one day, and, because, she used to take me along with her to do some shopping sometimes. So normally I would just sit downstairs and say, okay, you go and do your own shopping. I'll be sitting here reading or something. But I decided to go with her. It was in America or somewhere. I decided to go with her to the women's section. Then I saw, it was like an array of colors, different colors. And then I said, Princess, this one is the one I want. Please, can I help you choose? Pick this one like this, these other colors like this. So I almost bought the whole place. So she was saying, hey, why do you like that? She was even shocked. She was saying, why are you taking all those colors? I said, but because women don't know that men don't like same thing all the time. Men don't like to see the same, what do you call it? Men get used to, men don't like just same thing. That is why they go and change wives also. If their wife, they see that she's just the same all the time, they go and change and get another one. But if she's not, men need colors. Do you know why men like football? Because it's moving all the time, action, something must change. Do you know why men like to watch movies, films that are action films? Women call it horror films. And they don't like their husband to watch these horror films because it's action, it's movement, it's changing. Because men are working with their mind all the time. So they need variety, they need stimulation. So if you are just putting two colors there and no varieties, their mind are not being stimulated. They are not being stimulated, they are not, so they get bored, they lose interest, So, as a lady, you must know that. As a lady, you must know that you have to wear colorful pants. And what was used to surprise me those days, even I asked some of the girls later on when I started training women, when I was teaching them this, I asked them, but why is it not white? Okay, if you want to even wear these straps and bra, why not white? So they are now telling me that is because white would get dirty easily and get stained and it's not sustainable, and that other colors also, but the brown color or the brownish color and the black, they are more practical or whatever you call it. They are more they are more sustainable. They are easier to maintain or whatever. It's good. It's good to maintain. It's predictable. They took black and brown. It's okay. Just more practical for them. Which is okay. But you see, that is how women think. But that's not, if you are now going to live with if you are living by yourself, do like that. But if you are going to live with a man, and that man is going to be seeing you dress every day, you don't want to just think about practicality now. You want to probably think about the person who is living with you and what that person is saying and how that person is seeing you. So those are just little things that that I'm talking about now. So underwears, pants, and sweat, whatever you call the sweater you wear, the t-shirt you wear on top. All those things have to be colorful. All those things have to be attractive. So, but these are just minor things. These are just minor things, right? And I don't believe that there are some men who will leave you because of that, but there will be. I'm sure there will be. I believe it, there will be. But I don't believe men should do that. But they do normally. They will go and look for something that is more exciting to them, that is more interesting to them, that more better varieties for them. And but these things look small and insignificant to the lady, right? But it might decide your destiny. So, but there are even more serious things that we need to talk about when we are talking about, self-sufficiency. So a lady, but the most important thing when we are talking about self-sufficiency is that before you even think of a man, before you think about any relationship, you need to get yourself to a place that you could tell yourself, I'm happy with myself. What is self-sufficiency? Self-sufficiency is saying, I am sufficient all by myself. I am sufficient all by myself. Self-sufficient. I am sufficient by myself. So that means you are not sitting down there thinking, oh, I'm not happy. Oh, I wish I would be happy. If somebody would come into my life, somebody... When you get married, you will even be more unhappy. That I will guarantee you that one. If you are not self-sufficient now, before you marry, marriage doesn't bring that to you. It's an illusion to think that marriage will bring that to you. It is something that has to be created inside of you. Something from outside cannot give you self-worth. Something from outside cannot give you self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is something that has to be created inside of you. And if you don't create it inside of you, let me tell you something about men. If you are going to marry without being self-sufficient, I don't want to break your heart and I don't want to disappoint you. Men know how to bring out all the insufficiencies in you. They will not even know it. They might not even do it intentionally, but naively. Because you will come back home with your new hairstyle, and you will think you are ready to kill. You are ready. And then the man doesn't even notice it at all. He's just watching television. And if you don't have self-sufficiency in you, you already don't have that you are already satisfied with yourself. You are already happy. You will be so depressed. At least if you had been alone by yourself, and you do your makeup and hairstyle, and you at least you notice yourself. At least you appreciate your own self. At least you look at yourself in the mirror, you like what you see, and you go out of town. And in town, many people will see you, many people will appreciate you, many people will look at you, and you are happy. But when you are now married, and you are expecting the most important person in your life to appreciate and to notice how you look, how you dress, the new dress or the new look or the 5 kilograms that you lost or the hairstyle that you made, and he's not even noticing it. And not because it's bad, and we are going to be talking about that later on. It's not about the man, it's not about him being bad. It doesn't even have anything to do with him at all. It's just that he's just a man. He's just being a man. He just didn't notice that at all. He's living his own life. I mean, he's doing something. There are things that are more important to him. His football is more important to him at that particular time than noticing your new hairstyle. Or the news might be more important to him at that particular time. He didn't notice. But for you as a woman who had not worked on self-sufficiency, for you as a woman who had not, made yourself to be sufficient from inside, for you as a woman who had not built that stronghold within yourself, who had not built that pillar of strength within yourself, to be happy nevertheless, to be satisfied nevertheless, that will not just bring out that insufficiency in you, that is just going to shatter and scatter your life entirely. That you will be unhappy, you will be irritated, you will be depressed, it's just like they have trampled you under the feet. Just because it didn't notice what you wore. What you wore or new hairstyle. As it's something as mundane as that will be killing a girl that had not worked on self-sufficiency. So you must get yourself to a place before you even think of marriage, whereby you say, if anything, just picture any scenario. Just picture any scenario and you are already happy with yourself. Picture any scenario and you are already satisfied. Think about anything. Doesn't matter what anybody would do that will affect your self-image. You are already happy. You are already self-sufficient. You are already satisfied with yourself. You know how to make yourself happy. You know how to make yourself, satisfied inside your own heart. When your joy depends only on you and on God, when your joy depends on what you do and what God has done for you and is doing for you, then you don't care what happens, what a man does or doesn't do, who notices or who doesn't notice you. Then we're talking about self-sufficiency. Pastor Sunday, you are very phenomenal. You are just phenomenal. This is a very serious worry. Are you sure it's more serious than the other last week? It's just because he's talking to you now. Otherwise, it's very serious. So we're talking self-sufficiency. So self-sufficiency is the ability to know that I am sufficient by myself. I am sufficient all by myself. I thank God for my life. I thank God for when you wake up in the morning and you just look up to God, you are glad and you are happy. Nothing compares to that. But even when you are happy by yourself and you wake up in the morning and you are enjoying it, you enjoy your loneliness with God, you enjoy the fact that God has blessed you with a good job, or you have your profession going for you, or you have your calling that you are fulfilling, or you have personal relationship with God, you know that you can be how you want to be, you can look at you want to look. Even at that, if you go to marry like that and you are not very solidly established, even that is going to be tried when you go to marriage. When you go into marriage, that is going to be tried because when you go into marriage, the fact that you are by yourself and you are so happy and so satisfied. For example, you wake up in the morning and you look into the door, through the window, and you see the wonderful, weather, and you see the sky, and you see you know exactly what is waiting for you. But once you marry, you no longer know what is waiting for you. If you used to wake up in the morning and look through the window and like the smell and like the light, the sunshine, and like the nature out there, when you wake up now, when you are now married, you might not even have time to look at that nature again. Crisis. Because once you wake up, you want to look into the window, somebody is pinning you down on the bed. And you don't even have time to look at. So your routine is just destroyed like that. And if the next thing that you would have liked to go and do is to go and take a shower, you cannot go and take a shower because he's saying, "Oh, lie down here, I'm here with you," and you cannot. You are even feeling saying it's uncomfortable to leave him there, and he wants to talk to you, or he wants to do, and you have not washed your teeth, and you want to go, and he says you should lie, and you don't want to disobey him, and you want to. So a lot of things need to be considered. So you need to make sure that no matter what, even if he says this and that, even if you feel like that, you know that you know who you are. You are already happy by yourself. But to attain that level of happiness on your own and by yourself is critical. It is primary. So you must know how to, first of all, be glad by yourself. Be sufficient by yourself when you are so happy. But like I said, to be happy by yourself is not enough. You must be happy and sufficient to the extent, not financially alone, now I'm saying, inside yourself. I'm talking about inner satisfaction. You must be so satisfied that your cup is running over. It is only at the point when that you feel that your cup is running over that the satisfaction and the joy and the self-sufficiency you have is running over, that you want to give to other people. You want to give it to another man. You want to give it to another woman. You want to just make other people happy like that. You want to share that joy, that happiness with others. When you know that you are so sufficient, I hope you are feeling what I'm saying. When you know you have so much joy, you cannot keep it for yourself alone. We have so much satisfaction. You don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to even make other people happy self. You want to give that satisfaction to others. You want to splatter it out, splash. You want to splash it out. You want to, go ahead and just dash this joy, dash this happiness, give some people mood, give some people happiness, give some people. When you are ready to give out so much of that sufficiency, that's when you are ready to marry. That is when you are ready to marry. Then it means no matter what a man does, or no matter what you confront or you come across in marriage, you are so satisfied that it's flowing over. Your cup is running over. And now that you have so much of that joy, so much of that satisfaction, flowing through you and coming out of you, you are ready to give a lot of that to the man as well. But before you get to the man, before you begin to give that satisfaction and that joy to the man, learn to give it to other people too, first of all. Learn to do good to people. Learn to give some of those joy, some of that satisfaction to other people, children, women, friends, family members. Learn to just do good to them. Learn to, give them. Not complaining, not waiting for others to give you, not complaining that other people are bad, other people are not. Learn to do good to other people to the extent that they will not even be grateful. They are showing ingratitude to you, they are showing lack of gratitude, and you are used to that, and you are still not frustrated, and you are still happy to give. So that when you now go into your marriage, and you are seeing some things that you expected the man to respond to and it's not responding to it. You expected the man to thank you for something and it's not thank you for. You are not bothered anymore. You are more concerned about giving than receiving. That's what we call love. That you are ready for marriage. That is real love. Real love is when you are so overflowing, when you are so full of life, so full of goodness, so full of the kindness of God, the love of God, this satisfaction that you are even ready to give to others and to bless so many others without asking for more. Without asking for yourself, for much for yourself. That is when you are really, really ready to marry. Now, we know this is not canceling all the things that I said that men should do. Men know their own responsibilities, but it is not your own duty to begin to, think about that you are not going to work on yourself because men are supposed to do this, men are supposed to do that. Forget about what men are supposed to do. Let them be thinking about what they are supposed to do. But you must also know what you are supposed to do from your own side. You must know what you are supposed to do from your own side. So self-satisfaction is key before you think of marriage. Self-sufficiency. You have to be sufficient. You have to think self-sufficient. You have to make sure that you are satisfied with yourself. You are sufficient, in so many areas before you go into marriage. Before I even think of a man. Tonight I'm going to continue. I'm going to talk about areas where you need to be self-sufficient. What are the areas where a woman would need to be self-sufficient? What are the areas where a woman will need to grow herself in self-sufficiency? In what areas are you supposed to grow in self-sufficiency? That will be tonight. Because my time, I didn't even notice that my time is already over. The time is over for today, but I think I made the point. You have to be self-sufficient. Then tonight, I want to tell you concretely where and what areas you must develop yourself and make sure you attain self-sufficiency. But tonight, by the grace of God, we hope to come on the big platform. We hope that Facebook will have opened my Dr. Sunday Adelaja public page So we are going to be probably coming on public page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, but we are going to copy it here as well. So I think you'll be able to watch it both here and there. But I think the direct one will be from Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So you can begin to invite your friends, and by the grace of God, we hope that we'll have more people come as a result of that, because we'll be able to invite normal people that we used to invite before. Let's go and share this link. I think we should share this link, and this might be a blessing to some girls or to some women. So, let's go share the link and write something. Girls, ladies, men, let's write some remarks and some comments on the things we are going to share. Let's go and share the link. Let's go and share the link and write some things to it. So look for the share button, write some comments, let people know what to expect from this. And if it's a blessing to you, let me hear what you are going to, let me hear your comments. Let me even read some of your comments. Let me read some of the comments and see if this was a blessing to you guys or not. Okay. TY says, wow, Dr. Adelaja, your ladies are going to become, wow, there will be many renewal of vows. My ladies on this platform, okay. There will be many renewal of vows by the end of days. I'm sure the men are making themselves coffee and settling down well to enjoy this message. You see, even though I'm not speaking directly about the men and the responsibility of ladies to the men, but you see, it will still benefit the men at the end of the day. Donna Oshinashi says, so what are you as a man supposed to do to keep your wife interested so she doesn't get bored and go somewhere else? We did that last week. I think this Downer is just coming this time. Maybe she was not there or he was not there last week. The whole of last week was talking to the men. So it's always going to be like that. When I'm talking about the men will say, well, about the women. When I'm talking about the women say, well, about the men. Go back to last week's messages. You see the link from me there that says that if you missed out some of the things, go back to check them. Yeah, go through, follow those links, and you'll be able to listen to all the things you missed both last week and before then. Edwin and Mimi, Pastor is using wisdom to tell our sister the truth. Well, I think he's always used wisdom. I used to tell even the men the truth as well. Somebody say, what is DSA? I think DSA is an acronym that some of the people on this platform used to call Dr. Sunday Adelaja, or some people say PSA, Pastor Sunday Adelaja. So I think this person is new, so he's asking what is DSA. Okay, Oluwafumelayo say, you are very correct, Pastor Sunday. That is what makes some men to buy what they like for their wives. Yeah, if you don't like the stripes or the smell. Sunshine says, I'm really enjoying this message. TY says, woman, you have to get your game on. No one owes the key to your happiness or self-worth. Yeah. Fagbulu Fola said, you are indeed building. I think building up people. God bless you. Bolaji Martin said, waiting for others' approval of an approval is an invitation for depression. I love me and I'm happy regardless of who notices me. Yep. Happiness is a choice. Nobody can determine it if you don't give them the grant to have ownership of your joy. Let me see. Elizabeth is saying, Pastor, I salute you, or keep nailing it. Gift. After this woman retreat, the joy will be for the men. Noel said, even the men need self-sufficiency in joy to have enough of marriage. Edwin, any angle Pastor Sunday is coming from, he outsmarts others in their own field. How do you work on yourself, please? Just listen to my teaching. That enough will make you a champion. Justine says, thank you, Pastor. I love these new teachings, and I'm so eager to learn more. Martin Osholis, hi. He said, you have driven the point home. Solid teaching. Thank you. Edwin said, Pastor, I'm tempted to ask you, how many brains do you have? How many eggs do I have? How many brains? Is there anything unusual about my brain? I don't know if there is anything unusual you notice about my brain. Nkiro Jivadu, I am really enjoying this. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm learning so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Ngoya Shari, thank you so much, Pastor, for touching on those topics that are considered taboo or too sensitive in church, especially African black churches. This is so valid information that we need to become whole and not just the superficial things people want to hear to feel good or be affirmed in their wrong beliefs as churchgoers. We have to be self-sufficient before anything, and we often lose sight of that very thing that makes us who we are. More wisdom to you. Thank you for your time and knowledge. TY, awesome. Thank you, sir. Absolutely thrilling session. I'm further empowered, enlightened, and blessed. Have a great week, sir. It's an absolutely glorious morning. Kennedy Festus, I can't wait to hear more about this topic tonight. He's a man that is saying he can't wait to hear this topic tonight. Esther Kuganja, thank you, Pastor. So useful stuff. Comfy ear. Bless you, Pastor Sunday. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you. TY say, you are too much, Dr. Adelaja. That's it. Not just your spouse, but your way of life. Be a giver, a fountain. Boss Efanya Jola, wow, wisdom at its best. Kudos to Dr. Adelaja. Elizabeth Adeshola said, wow, Pastor, you are too much. Thank God. I'm privileged to know you. The teachings are mind-blowing and very practical and educative. Downa Oshina, she said, I agree with what he is teaching about the self-sufficiency and the need for it before choosing a mate, or you make a mistake in who you choose. I am working through that now. And what God is talking and doing in me now is this very thing. Wow. Amazing. Mofelola says, now wow, this is awesome. Gift Amos, my mentor does not lay hands, but the evil spirit on some women respect his voice and have no choice than to leave. Wow, thank you, Doctor. More grace. Flair Karim Matip, I said no to some marriage proposals because I am knowing that I was not ready. Unfortunately, people sometimes try to make you feel guilty about your choices. Better this than a failed and miserable marriage. Yep. Solomon Kehinde, thank you for bringing solutions to lives. This is more than marriage, but also building, this is more than marriage teaching, but also building our lives, right? Stella Ibe, I can't wait to hear more of this every day. Ekunsami, great word once again, Pastor. He's giving me kudos. Eric Osadolo, yes, so Pastor, you are just too much, sir. Thank you. TY, Dr. Adelaja, you really took the socks off me. I did not know you could touch on those things. You are full of surprises. In fact, we learn new things about your depth every day. Too much, sir. Okay, Nkiru is giving the link to books, both on Amazon and Okada. That day, let's call on all young ladies, sisters, wives, mothers, grandmothers to join in on this great platform retreat. I think help has been taught. Helpmate has been, the concept of helpmate has been taught wrongly, and has done so much damage in marriages worldwide. Wow. Yeah, because the concept of helpmate is just, I think it's destroying the image of the woman, really. Elizabeth says, Pastor, I salute you. Keep naming it. John Lucky, I now understand why you said your name will be remembered after 300 years. Wonderful teachings. Adeola Disumen should actively join on this retreat as well, so we could teach and bring up our daughters and sisters also. Solomon Kehinde, thank you for bringing solutions to lives. This is more than marriage, but also life building, right? Okay. Well. I think our time is up. I've given you so much today. I'll be back tonight. And I hope you'll join us. And like I said, we'll be back on the other platform, Dr. Sunday Adelaja official. So see you tonight. God bless you, everyone. And see you tonight. And go and share the link if you have not shared the link. Write some comments and invite your friends to come tonight. God bless. Bye.